Have you ever heard the story of the three little pigs and thought there has to be more to it? Well, you're in for a treat today because we're diving deep into one of the most famous tales ever told, but with a few modern twists and turns you probably haven't considered. Once upon a time, in a lovely green meadow, lived a mother pig with her three little sons. As they grew older and bigger, she knew it was time for them to venture out and build their own lives. So, with a loving nudge and a packed lunch, she sent them off into the big, wide world to seek their fortunes. Whatever you do, she advised, do it the very best you can. That's the way to get along in the world. The first little pig was an easygoing fellow. He loved to play and sing all day, and the idea of hard work wasn't exactly his cup of tea. As he trotted down the road, he met a farmer carrying a bundle of straw. Aha, he thought. Perfect. He asked the farmer for some straw, and in no time at all, he had built himself a house. It was a bit flimsy, and the wind whistled through the gaps, but it was a house nonetheless. He finished quickly and spent the rest of the day dancing and playing his flute, quite pleased with himself. The second little pig was a bit more practical, but still in a hurry to get back to his fun. He saw his brother's straw house and thought, I can do better than that. But I don't want to spend all week on it. Soon he came across a man with a cart full of sticks. Sticks are stronger than straw, he reasoned. He bought a bundle and got to work. His house of sticks was sturdier than the straw one, for sure. It took him a whole day, but by evening he was done. He joined his brother, and the two of them sang and danced, happy with their new homes. Now, the third little pig was different. He remembered his mother's words. Do it the very best you can. He watched his brothers build their houses quickly and go off to play, but he knew that a house needed to be strong and safe. He journeyed on until he met a builder with a lorry full of bricks. This is it, he said to himself. This is what I need. He bought the bricks and got to work. Building a brick house was hard. He had to mix mortar, lay each brick carefully, and build a strong foundation. It took him several days, and he worked from sunrise to sunset. His brothers would often visit, teasing him. Why are you working so hard? Come and play with us. But the third little pig just shook his head and kept on building. He built a sturdy little house with a strong wooden door and a big fireplace with a tall chimney. When he was finally finished, he felt tired but incredibly proud. His house was a fortress. Now, in the nearby woods lived a big bad wolf. He hadn't had a good meal in days, and his stomach was rumbling. One morning, he was prowling around when he smelled ... pig. His nose led him right to the straw house of the first little pig. He knocked on the door. Little pig, let me come in, he growled. The little pig, peeking through a crack, saw the wolf's big teeth and trembled. Not by the hair of my chinny chin, he squeaked. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in, roared the wolf. And he huffed, and he puffed, and with one mighty breath, the straw house completely collapsed. The first little pig ran as fast as his little legs could carry him, all the way to his brother's house of sticks. He burst through the door, shouting, "The wolf! The wolf is coming!" The second little pig quickly bolted the door just as the wolf arrived. Little pigs, let me come in." The wolf snarled, angrier than before. "Not by the hair of our chinny chins." They both cried out, "Then I'll huff and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in." A wolf bellowed. He huffed and he puffed, and the house of sticks began to shake. He huffed again, even harder, and the whole thing came tumbling down. The two little pigs scrambled out of the wreckage and ran for their lives, heading straight for their brother's brick house. They pounded on the door, and the third little pig let them in, his face calm but serious. "I told you so," he might have thought, but he just secured the heavy lock. A moment later, the big bad wolf, now absolutely furious, stood before the brick house. Little pigs, let me come in," he demanded. "Not by the hair of our chinny chins." They all shouted from inside, feeling much safer. "Then I'll huff and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in a—" he roared, taking the biggest breath he possibly could. He huffed and he puffed. Nothing happened. The brick house didn't even tremble. He puffed and he huffed. Still nothing. He tried again and again until he was completely out of breath, red in the face, and dizzy. The house stood as strong as a mountain. The wolf was clever, though. He wasn't going to give up that easily. He circled the house, looking for a way in. He saw the tall chimney. "Aha," he thought. "I'll climb up the roof and slide down the chimney. I'll have them for sure." Inside, the three little pigs heard the scrambling of claws on the roof. The third little pig, ever the quick thinker, knew exactly what the wolf was planning. He had a big pot of water boiling over the fire in the fireplace. "Quick," he whispered to his brothers, "help me with this." They took the lid off the pot just as the wolf began to slide down the chimney. With a mighty splash, the wolf landed right in the pot of boiling water. He shot back up the chimney with a yelp of pain, his tail singed, and ran off into the woods, never to be seen again. From that day on, the three little pigs lived together in the strong brick house. The first two pigs learned a valuable lesson about hard work and preparation. They helped their brother expand the house, adding 2 more rooms made of brick, of course. They still loved to sing and dance, but they also learned to value safety, security, and the wisdom of doing a job right the first time, and they all lived happily and safely ever after. What I love about this story is its timeless message. It's not just about building houses. It's about building a life. The straw and sticks are the shortcuts we're all tempted to take, while the bricks represent the effort, patience, and foresight that lead to lasting success and security. It reminds us that while fun is important, investing time and hard work into our foundations, whether it's our education, our careers, or our relationships, is what truly protects us when the wolves of life come knocking. So, what do you think? Is there a part of this story that resonates with you today? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this classic tale. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. See you soon.